Friends, welcome to my YouTube channel at another session on machine learning. In this video, I am going to discuss about feature engineering. How do we identify variables in feature engineering? That's what I am going to discuss in this video. Variable identification in feature engineering. Have a quick introduction to the feature engineering. The goal of feature engineering is to prepare the proper input data set and improving the performance of machine learning model. It's simple. In feature engineering, we convert data into features. This is what we do in feature engineering. What are all the different steps to prepare data to build the model? So what are all the different steps under feature engineering? That's what we are going to discuss here. You need to understand the quality of your inputs decide the quality of your output. Below are the steps involved to understand, clean and prepare your data for building your predictive model or machine learning model. The first step is variable identification. In this video, I am going to discuss about variable identification. The second step, univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, missing values treatment, outlier treatment, variable transformation, variable creation. All those steps will be, covering in the coming videos. So this is first we this is the first step, that is variable identification. Here we are going to discuss. So what we do in variable identification, here we need to identify the input variable, that is the predictor, and the output variable, that is the target variable. After that, we identify the data type and category of the variable. That's what we do in as part of variable identification. So the input variable, that means the simple equation again I am telling you, when you take y is equal to mx plus c, here x is known as the input variable. This is input and y is the output. Input variable, we call it as the predictor. Another thing is predictor. Output variable, we call it as the target. Another name is target. And input variable, we also call it as the independent variable. X is here, x is independent variable, and y is the dependent variable, and that's the output. The output depends on the input, but input is independent of the output. That's what. So these concepts you may be familiar. In this equation, m is the slope and c is the y-intercept. Fine. So here we need to identify the input variable and the target variable. After that, we identify the data type and the category of the variables. Fine. Let's take an example, then you will understand it very clearly. So here we have a data. This is the data set we are having. The student ID, it is given here, A001, A002, A003, A004, A005, and we have gender, male or female, and the height of the students, it's given in centimeter, weight of the student is given in the centimeter, and we need to predict whether the student will play cricket or not. This is the output. This is the output variable. This is the target variable y. This is the target. We need to predict whether the student will play cricket or not. This is what we are going to do. So how we will come up with our variables in this example, that's what I'm going to discuss here. So you have student ID, gender, height, weight. We need to predict. So these are all the input data, and this is the output, whether the student will play cricket or not. Fine, you understood. So the variables, so this is the analysis we have. The predictor variable means it is the input variable. This is the input, or we can take it as the independent variable. These are all the independent variable. So what are all the predictor variable here? The input variables here, it is gender, height and weight. You can see here we need to use the gender, the height and the weight. So these three are the input variables here. These three are the predictors. You understood? Student ID, it won't contribute anything for the prediction. So we have to take gender, height and weight as the input variable. Then what is the target variable? It is the output variable. This is the output, whether the student will play cricket or not. That is the target variable. Here we have the target variable. See, we have the data type. There is character data type and the numeric data type. The student ID, you can see here, student ID, it is a character data type. And, gender, it's also character data type. And numeric data type is there. Play cricket, whether it is input, it's output, but the data type of this, is it's also numeric. Weight is numeric, height is also numeric. These three are numeric data, and these three are character data. You understood that. So we have the character type and the numeric type. Now we need to understand, this is very important. This is the categorical variable and the continuous variable. See, we have two types of variables. This segregation is really important. One is the categorical variable and the continuous variable. See, what is continuous? Continuous means all numerical data. It is continuous. See, when I am asking you a question, first question, what is your height? Height. When we talk about height, you will tell it is 170 centimeter. It is numerical data, so it is a continuous variable. When I am asking you the next question, what is your gender? So then you will tell male or female. So there is only two options, male or female, or yes or no. Because another question I am asking, whether you pass what is the result? You pass the examination or not? Then you can tell it is yes or no. So two answers you can give. Such type of variables, male or female, yes or no, it's coming under the categorical variable. So this is a categorical variable. So here also gender, it's a categorical variable. Whether you play cricket, the answer will be yes or no. So that's also a categorical variable. So when I talk about height and weight, it's a continuous variable. It can be 160, it can be 170, it can be multiple values. So here most of the time it would be 2 or 3, and the answer will be limited to some 2 3 values. So such variables we call it as the categorical variable. Here in our case, height and weight are categorical variables, and gender and play cricket are height and weight are continuous variable, and gender and play cricket are categorical variable. That's also we categorize. Like that we can arrange of the variables. This is the way we identify the variables when you are given with the data. So this process is the first step in your feature engineering. That's what we discussed. Then that's all about variable identification. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks a lot.